This is the Artist Entrepreneur Podcast. We are your hosts, Amanda Ritchie, Noah Dock, and me, Kerry Wee. We're three artists brought together by the love of circus and dance. Amanda from the world of Cirque du Soleil as an aerial soloist. Noah, our academic, and me from the commercial dance world. This is one of the greatest jobs in the world, but it comes with uncertainty. Each episode contains insight on how to pursue art-based businesses. We'll have a variety of guests and have lively weekly Discord. Tune in every week to hear our perspectives on the minefield that is the artist's way of life.
But now my mom is fired.
Okay.
The whole rest of her life.
Rest of my life? That's a long time.
I don't know about that because then I'm the only person. Then I'm the only person working today, and that's never gonna work.
So, listeners, you do not have an Amanda today, but I feel like maybe that's okay because she's not going to tell us anything anyway.
That's true. Yeah, I don't, and I want to be clear to our listeners that I also don't know anything. So this isn't like, we're not hiding anything. We just, maybe Kerry does. Kerry is.
Okay, so I used to stay at the studio longer on Monday nights, and our driving schedules would sync, and she would tell me all the secrets on Monday nights. But we haven't been syncing, therefore I know nothing. She is very tight-lipped about her project that she's currently working on. So this is us. See, no, we don't just talk about crap about you when you're not here. We can talk about crap about Amanda too.
That's right. Amanda's not going to listen to this, so we can talk shit about Amanda.
That's right.
When she's not here.
Right.
That's right.
That's right. So, Noah, has everything gotten slightly better?
No, not really. I mean, I'll give it like a 5%.
5%.
I can give it 5%.
We'll take that.
I had my first day at the bar.
Okay.
That was last night. That was great. It's a very cool spot. There's a lot to learn, which is great. I love to learn, and there's something, I think that there's something to be said about clocking into a job every once in a while. And I'm going to use the example of, when you're an entrepreneur, you don't do a whole lot of clocking in and clocking out. It's mainly clocking in and never clocking out. You are always thinking about it. You are always involved in it. And even last week, our conversation about, taking a break, that even when you're taking a break, even if you are, on vacation or whatever it might be, you are still thinking about your job. You are still thinking about your product. You are still thinking about whatever it is. And if something comes up, you are going to do it. You're going to take care of it. You are going to engage with your world. And last night was my first night at this job, and it's a bartending job. But it's a very, I would say there's a lot more to it because there's a lot of prep, there's a lot of chemistry, there's a lot of science, there's a lot of things that are involved in it, more than just here's vodka, here's soda, go make a drink. And there's two sort of parts to this job. There's the part of it that is working in front of people, and making the drinks. But so much of this job is prep work and doing essentially cooking in the back and doing chemistry and mixing ingredients and creating things behind the scenes. And there's something about that sometimes to me that I really love. It's that idea that I could just clock in, put my head down, and do chemistry or do this work for however many hours, 6 hours. I'm just going to be in the back, and I'm going to mix ingredients, and I'm going to, I'm gonna clarify cocktails, or I'm gonna infuse things, or I'm gonna whatever it is. And I don't necessarily have to talk to anybody. I will talk to people because I'm a social person, but you don't necessarily have to talk to anybody. You don't you don't necessarily have to do anything that like requires you to think outside of what's right in front of you, the physical space that's right in front of you. And when you're done, you clock out and you don't bring it home. You don't have to. I'm bringing a little bit home right now because I need to learn the recipes and I need to practice some skills and things like that. So like I'm bringing a little bit home, but once we're in the swing of things, it's, you clock in, you're there, you do the job, you clock out, you leave, and it stays there. And that's something that you don't often experience as an entrepreneur.
I mean, to me, that sounds kind of cool and relaxing, to be honest. For right now, that's what it sounds like. And I know that's not always the case, but like, is that what it felt like? Is that what it felt like to you?
It is sort of, I do find it somewhat relaxing. And I think it's such a weird perspective. And I think it's such a example of the grass is always greener. I think there's a lot of people who work 9 to 5s, and there's people who talk about this in their lives as entrepreneurs. Like, oh, well, I was working my 9 to 5 and all I did was dream about owning my own business or having my own thing and whatever. And there's something like when you're in that 9 to 5, when you're in a place where like you clock in, you clock out, you do this thing, there's the monotony that everybody talks about in that world. And so you dream of this freedom, quote unquote, freedom of being an entrepreneur, of being able to run your own thing, of being able to, manage your own time and all those things. But you are completely booked 100% of the time as opposed to just 9 to 5. But you may be doing something that you really, really want to do. But as an entrepreneur, the idea of, wait, I could just like click on, click off, and just like be there.
Yeah.
And then leave.
It's almost like your responsibilities like whittle down to like 2 or 3 things that you've been asked to do at work.
Right.
And yeah.
Or to 2 or 3 hours.
Sure. And so from a logistical perspective, are you mostly training right now in this job? Because and you're like chopping mint and you're infusing stuff in the back to batch cocktails, right? Is that what I'm imagining?
It's part of it, but because of the nature of this place is you pretty much always have shifts at the front and shifts in the back.
Oh, okay.
Like no matter whether you're training or not, you will always have those shifts. You'll always have those different sort of activities, which is really cool.
How many bartenders are there at one time?
Last night there were 4.
Okay.
5 if you include me.
Yeah, and then you have some people working in the back. You have some people working out in the front, serving drinks. So did you actually serve drinks last night for you?
I didn't. And there were 2 other bartenders who also did not serve drinks last night.
Okay.
There were 2 in the back and 3 including me, and then 2 at the front.
Yeah. So what is this menu that you have to memorize? Is it long?
It's not insanely long. It's more familiarization, I think, than memorization. Just learning what everything is, what it's like to make all these things. It's training.
Yeah.
So a big part of training is once you do it.
Yeah.
Like you know how to do it. Like you've sort of clocked it and you figured it out. And luckily, I'm a kinesthetic learner. So if I physically do something, like I got it. I know what to do. I know how to do it. And so last night I was very kinesthetic about my practice, about my training. And so like what we did last night, I have it. It's done. I got it.
Awesome.
How are you? How's your break? How was your week off?
So I took it And then like this Monday, Tuesday, I was like, okay, let me just dip my toe in, because it was getting to the point where, kind of teetering on like, if I do it, maybe it'll actually relieve more stress, because it's starting to build up, right? So I was like, okay, I'm going to do what I can wrap my head around, and actually did quite a bit up until like today. I'm like working myself up to more of my regular pace. And so you'll be very proud to hear that I edited 3 podcasts this morning. Wow. I called about 3 or 4 bills that need to be handled. So I made like administrative calls, which that to me is the hardest thing to make myself do. I wrote 4 descriptions of workshops that I will be doing over the summer that those studios were asking and needing that stuff from me for their websites. So I was like patting myself on the back, because I'm getting myself slowly, and I'm not expecting to go at full pace, but I got like, I'm like tapping the gas, and it's okay. Yesterday was my birthday.
Happy birthday. I didn't know that. What the fuck? Nobody tells me.
We talked about it at some point. Oh, maybe you weren't on yet. Me and Amanda talked about it, and you weren't on yet.
All right. Well, I gotta send something.
Oh no, because I talk to you in real life. That's actually better than 95% of my friends. The ones that I have podcasts with, I'm the closest to, because we talk all the time.
That's true.
But I've become, ever since 45, I've started talking about it, because I think it's important to like kind of normalize this a little bit more. I didn't talk about it before when I was auditioning, because I didn't think it would help me very much. But now that I'm not, I'm a little more transparent. So I turned 48, which is a little insane to me, because I don't know what that was supposed to mean in my mind.
That's such a good number.
What?
48 is such a good number.
48? Why?
Well, it's even.
It's even number.
It's one half of the sec. Like 4 is half of 8.
Yes.
It's a good looking number. 8's my lucky number, so I already love that. It's a good number. I like that's a good number. 48's a good number.
Okay, so
I got good feelings about your 48th year.
I'm having a lot of like thoughts and feelings about the big 50 number coming. And there's a podcast I was like getting ready for, because on one of my other podcasts, we have somebody who's talking about sex after 50. And when I saw that title, I was like, oh, that's so old. This is going in my mind, because I don't feel that way. And I'm like coming across it. It's coming soon. So I'm doing a lot of like personal reflection because of this big, milestone coming up in my life. And then my high school reunion that's coming up, where all of us are turning this age at the same time, and what that means to different people. So one of my really good friend circles, we did this burlesque show. We call it a cabaret show. Back when we were in our 20s, and we're still very close. We have a group thread. And I was like, you guys, 48. One of the other ladies is also 48. She's going to be 49 next year. Soon coming. And I was like, you guys, this is crazy. And somebody said to me, they're like, to be honest, I feel like most women at any age would be really grateful to have the flexibility you have and the strength that you have to be able to do aerial. And I was like, this is true. This is true. Fair statement. So I'm redefining it in my mind. I'm also in this like huge U-turn in my life of pivoting, and I call it a U-turn, not a U-turn, but a big turn, like a truck, because I'm not pivoting on a dime. I'm trying to take everything that I have, we talked about this before, and turn it into something new that I can like actually be very profitable for myself. And it's also a reflection of like the 8 years that I've had that's been this pivot, because it's like I basically retired from dance around 41. And there was a pandemic in there. There was a lot in there. I had a kid. I was very productive, actually. We moved. We bought houses. Like very productive 8 years.
I was very productive.
Very, very productive in these life ways. And thinking about everything and how I was going to turn the end of this decade into a very profitable time for me. Because what kills me... Noah, I listen to a lot of business podcasts. I don't know about you. And it kind of is inspirational, about 20%, how wealthy these people are. and how wealthy they've become through their businesses. But then it's a little bit like 80% like, oh my God, because like it just feels like it's a little bit like, am I ever going to get there? And of course, in 10 years, we're going to laugh and be like, of course, now I'm super wealthy, hopefully. But this has been a very interesting time. And the story you just brought up about clocking into work, making some dough, and then leaving without thinking about it, it seems a little romanticized to me. Because I've spent all week boiled down to self-talking myself into getting back, getting my engine revved up again. And it's very challenging. It's possible, and I've done it a little bit. I don't know. What are your thoughts on my process here? No, Doc.
I'm relating a little bit to the getting the engine revved up again, and I can say why, because part of, as my father would say, part of life's rich pageant.
Oh, that's a nice little phrase.
Yeah, that is my father's phrase, life's rich pageant. Part of life's rich pageant is that there's always going to be something, right? It's never going to work out exactly the way that you hoped. And so my part of life's rich pageant this week was, yes, I started this job. I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of really good things about it. It's exactly the kind of bar that I'd like to work at. It's exactly the kind of skills that I'd like to learn and add to my repertoire. And it's a clock in, clock out kind of experience. The unfortunate part of this is that I don't think it's going to pay as well as I would like it to.
Okay. Are you getting a small hourly and then tips?
Yeah. And I think I had an expectation what I thought it was going to be, and it's not going to be that. And that's a bummer. That sucks, right? This idea that I was going to be able to have this job, be able to help me pay my bills, and focus on red flags or focus on on that project is sort of not in the cards. And so I spent my week sort of going, all right, I have this job. I'm going to have a little bit of income coming from over here. I have a little bit of income coming from my marketing stuff. I got a little bit of income coming from over here. My goal was I could have a job. I could clock in, clock out. I could make some money. I could focus on the things that might not be making me money right now, but can make me money further down the line. And that's not exactly going to be the case. So I need to reevaluate. I need to continue to apply for some other jobs. I need to continue to grow some other entrepreneurial things, either get some more social media clients, use this private cocktail thing that I've done at my house as a stepping off point to do some private events, maybe, things like that. So much like putting your foot back on the gas or reevaluating or, getting the engine restarted to a certain extent. I did the same, and I sort of just locked in this week, and I redid my website so that I could restart that machine. So I could restart that, like, okay, we need to utilize these tools to make some more money in different places. We're going to revamp this so we can send it to the right people so that we can start to generate some income from these other places. And to think about it that way, to just go, okay, this is the situation. This is the way it is. We gotta retool. We gotta revamp. We gotta re-engage a little bit, and that's what we're gonna do.
By the way, listeners, what you did not see is Noah's gestural hand choreography that he was doing while he was talking. I don't think you noticed it, Noah, as you were talking, but you're using your hands a lot. Bean now put on a different dress, probably for you.
Yeah, because
Bean, it looks great. It's got a very Elsa Frozen vibe.
Yes, Bean, good job. It's actually it's got mermaid scales. Okay, he says it looks great, Bean.
Got it.
I'm a mermaid.
You are a mermaid. Yeah, so in your mind, switching from this job was going to solve my problem to it's only going to solve partial of the problem.
Right.
Right. So let me ask you a logistical question. Do you guys pull tips?
Oh, no, I'm sure we pulled it.
Okay. So even if you become like bartender extraordinaire, you don't think you're going to be able to like make that type of money there?
I just don't think it's that kind of place.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's just my understanding. Which, listen, it's not the end of the world. It's not a bad thing. It's just the way that it is. You know, it's not one of those bars that you go to where there's people huddled around the counter and there's 25 people trying to get the attention of the bartender. It's just not one of those places.
Right.
It's all, okay. And it's just yeah. As all things, as life's rich pageant, you take it as it comes.
You're also not in charge of the marketing of the place, so it's not like you can control.
I'm in charge.
All those things.
I'm in charge of nothing.
Right, which is the point.
I love that your friends said, "Kerry, you're 48 and you still rocking aerial and you're still doing all these things," and you know. I think that okay, I'm 30. I get it. If I say I'm 30, Kerry goes, "You're so young. You got no problems.
No,
you got nothing
I've never said that to you, by the way.
Here."
Because I felt like I had just a stack full of
Mommy.
things at that age. Oh my God, Noah.
Fair.
I have to say between 28 and 32 was when I was having the most difficult time in my life when it came to like me, like the inside of me. No, I think that like 20s, 30s, oh my God. Like I had a
Nightmare.
Yeah, nightmare.
I don't know how to stop this.
You don't know how to stop it?
No.
Just click the button on the outside.
Where?
There you go.
I love how well that worked. You don't know how to stop it. 20s, 30s, nightmare. Phone rings. You don't know how to stop it? That's right. I don't know how to stop it.
I don't know how to stop
There's
anything. There's nothing stopping anything.
There's nothing to stop
I mean,
anything.
I had an early career, so all that hardness of my first career was at that time.
Yeah.
So no, I
that's a whole other
I
conversation.
won't ever say that to somebody younger, because whatever they're going through feels like what they're going through, and what I'm going through now feels like what I'm going through now. So it's like,
yeah.
Oh my God, two things on the age thing. Bean, I think, somehow recognizes that her friends' parents are not my age, because her friends' parents are in their 20s and 30s, probably. And so we've been saying the word 50 because I have podcasts. I'm like, 2 years to 50. And she hears that. And she says to me the other day, "Promise you're not going to look like Amma when in 2 years or when you're 50, because my Amma's like her grandmother." And I was like, I'm going to look like I look now. Probably.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll look exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the other thing I forgot. What did I say? Oh, I met up with a friend of mine, took up my class from high school, was in town. And he said, "I'm really prepping to retire soon." And I was like, "What? What?" He's like, "I want to retire when I'm 55. I was like, "Oh my God." And this is what happens when you start building your 401k and you're in a corporate job since the age of 20. That's
Right.
what happens. And
Right.
he's sold his time to these corporations for that long, and now he's ready to live his life.
Right. It's such a different perspective.
It's such a different perspective because like I feel like I'm not just getting started, but I'm like right in it, and I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not, neither do I want to stop working, but I'm not going to be
Yes.
able to like that. So it's a very different perspective. But if you have been in a job that you consider owning your life for 40 to 50 hours a week, your whole life, of course you're going to want to retire early. You know what I'm saying?
Today I'm being a full mermaid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Today I'm being a full mermaid.
I see you.
I see
Can
that.
you let me do this? So that's been very interesting ways that I've looked at this all week. And I have a 5-year-old. And my friend Kelly, who's my co-host on the other podcast, she has a now 2-month-old grandchild. I mean, this is, like life is very interesting to me right now. Yeah, and she's doing her makeup in the Zoom. Like how other kids have mirrors. She's in the Zoom, of course.
She's in the Zoom.
She's in the Zoom. So you've made this transition in your mind. You have to pick up some other things. Did this make you panic slightly in your mind?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Good thing I have a headset on. She can't hear you. Yeah.
I was so excited to not have to panic.
Yeah. And then you realized the first day that you're like, oh, this is the vibe of the place. Is that how you knew?
Kind of.
Kind of. Okay. So does that mean you worked on a Thursday? So how many days a week are you at this place?
Don't know yet.
You're going to find out. Okay. Well, it does give you some freedom. Yeah. I mean, this whole like having things in place to make money while you're sleeping is the point, right? The real estate.
Oh, well, that's
the online courses at times.
That's the goal.
That's
the goal. That's the dream, right?
Yeah.
We all want to make money in our sleep. I think that is a universal truth that everyone would like to make money while they sleep. And sleep studies are not always the best way to do it. So, we got to find other methods. And in terms of where you are and what you were talking about, you've turned 48. You have all of these projects. You have your teaching. You have your courses. You have real estate. You have all these different pieces. And some of them are make money while you sleep. Like some of them are make money while you sleep. And some of them are not make money while you sleep. And I think there's something that you and I have in common is both our desire. I'm going to phrase it two different ways. Our desire to get out of our own way and our need to get in our own way, which is, and I'm going to lay it out in a different way, which is our desire to make money while we sleep, but also our need to do the thing ourselves and to do the thing that only we can do to make money. And I use that. The way that I'm going to apply that is, you have the real estate thing. It's make money while you sleep. It's you rent out a property, you do this. But at the same time, you are like, I want to make money. And the way that I'm going to do that is by I physically need to be in a space doing a thing, using my body in order to make it happen. And I'm the only person. Kerry Wee, I'm the only person who can teach Kerry Wee's aerial classes. True. And you don't want to give that up. No. You want to keep doing that. There's something really wonderful and important about that. I think the same thing. I know a doc have red flags. And red flags, if successful, will make money while I sleep. People can sign up for it. People can date. People can be on the platform. All that jazz. But I know a doc also, I want to own a bar and I want to make cocktails, and nobody else is going to make cocktails. Noah Doc except for Noah Doc. Noah Doc. Nobody besides Noah Doc can choreograph Noah Doc's dance pieces. And I don't want to get out of my way for that. I want to do those things. And it's such a funny perspective of like, I want to have the money coming in while I sleep. I want this thing over here. But I want this thing over here so I can physically do all those things over there.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, listeners, Noah's hand choreography has been on point this whole time. He's not doing it on purpose. It's just how he expresses himself. And Bean is putting on a full face of mermaid makeup in the Zoom. I wanted to let you guys know what was happening. Yeah, absolutely. Like, for example, what I did this morning is I'm putting in my summer workshop. So I'm going to be in Baltimore. I'm going to be in Columbus, Ohio. I'm going back to Austin. Asa and I were just talking about what we're going to do because he's going back to LA maybe once or twice a month right now. He's going to New Orleans this weekend to gig. So, and then the studio that I'm working at, the Arium, I've been told that in the summer it likes to go a little quiet. Okay, well, then I need to do what I can to make sure that doesn't happen for my classes because I'm getting paid per student basically. So my in-person needs to be really robust, and that means I'm showing up sometimes for not a lot of money or sometimes no money if I get there and somebody decides to cancel. And so I'm training, but it's okay because I want training time. So, yeah, and I want all the stuff that's supposed to be making money while I'm sleeping to be as robust as possible. And for that, you got to feed the beast. Because it's never, when they say passive income, I wish there was a different word for it, Noah. Because it's not, and it's making money while you sleep, but the money and the time you put into it isn't necessarily congruent with the time that you're making money. Like, for example, the first house that we had, we just dumped money in for 3 years, and then now we're making it back. Like, I just got my rent for May 1st from my renters. And it's like a wonderful feeling, but then all that money is being spent already. You know? So it's like, oh, and I was talking to Asa last night.
Yeah. It doesn't feel that passive.
No, it doesn't. And then, Asa and I were talking about the near future and what I appreciate about our relationship so much. I appreciate our relationship anyway, but that we're on such the same page. And this recognition, I told him last night, I was like, I need to get used to this feeling of spending out as the money's coming because it's never going to be different until we're old. Like, the moment we get like the basement taken care of in Delaware, the windows have to be replaced. A bunch of stuff has to be paid for here in the San Antonio house. I'm going there this weekend to paint the kitchen. We're putting in the countertops. The moment we have all that stuff paid for, we're going to turn around and buy a tiny house, a free prefab house for the Delaware land that we have out there, and we're going to have to pay for plumbing to get put in, for electric to be put in, and to somehow make it livable so that we can, I don't know, rent it in a year from now. I like to say, what was I doing last year at this time, just to kind of have a marker of like how my year has gone. And Noah, I was painting the kitchen in Delaware. I was renovating the kitchen there. So we have come a long way, but it doesn't always feel like it because it's like time moves fast, but like my goals, I just can't get to them fast enough sometimes. And I have to take the breaks or else my brain goes fuzzy and I can't do anything anyway. So yeah, I'm kind of here in this space where I'm like I'm
going to go sleep in the water.
You're going to sleep in the water? Wow. She's very wise with this. She knows that mermaids sleep in the water somehow. I like to take stock of life during birthday time.
It's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
It's a very good thing.
Yeah. So things are better. I'm glad. I think for us, like, we hit a little bit of a low here on this podcast in life, and it was happened to be recorded on the podcast. We had a little bit of a lull there, and we're both kind of climbing out of it. I expect to be feeling even better next week, hopefully. But Ace has gone 3 weekends in a row, so I've got a lot of mommy duty.
That is a lot of mommy duty.
Yeah. How are you doing on this? When it comes to any of the elements of your business, do you feel like any of it's working while you're sleeping right now?
A little bit. I mean, only in that I have great employees who help with my marketing stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's really helpful. It takes a lot of
pressure off of you,
and it takes a lot of pressure and time away for me, which is really nice. I will say that I'm hopeful that we can see a little bit more. I have a plan for red flags that we're going to do some marketing over the next 3 months. That we're going to put it out into the world and we're going to see what happens. We don't have a ton of money to do that with, but we're going to give it a shot. We're going to give it a shot and we're going to see what happens. And I'm looking forward to seeing what could happen. Throwing a little money behind some ads and getting that commercial out into the world. Yeah. And, worst case scenario, I spend a bunch of money and nothing happens. And best case scenario, I get real users and people are starting to use the app.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen. And I think that's what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen.
I am
and
too.
That would be insanely exciting. And that's what I'm looking at over the next 3 months. And part of that, to a certain extent, is things happening while I sleep, because it's marketing budget, it's ads, it's pushing people towards what I'm doing. And part of it is writing emails and getting out on the street and throwing events and having people engaged with. So there's a little bit of both, right? And we're gonna see what happens with it. But I'm hopeful. I'm looking forward to it, and yeah.
I think everyone who's an entrepreneur should have a portion of their business in a subscription model. I really do. I only have one portion of my business in a subscription model, and that's for my virtual classes. But that money's coming in regardless. And it does take a lot of upkeep for my model. For example, I have to show up for those classes. And if they don't show up for me, then I get some night off or something, but I show up for them all the time. Womack and Bowman, my old boss, they have a subscription model. It's called Silk Stars, and they have to be producing these videos every single month, and they don't have a break from it. But it's bread and butter money, because it's coming in, which is why so many businesses, like your yoga studio, all that, they want you to have a subscription or membership so that they can depend on that money. So important for businesses. Different than, like the one-off course that I sell or something. It's like that is a bigger ticket item, but I don't know if I'm going to sell it. And then in my in-person stuff, I don't know if they're going to show up. It's the other thing that I've reminded myself of, Noah, is when it comes to numbers, if I want to, fill my class with 12 people, I have to have like 20 people interested. I can't have 12 people interested. Yeah. It can't be 10 people interested. Yeah. It has to be 20 or more. And then that's how you get the robustness, because there has to be those numbers to create a feeling of urgency to sign up, because you think that your spot's going to get taken. So that's going to take time for me. But that's my year in San Antonio goal to get it there, where you have to find these people, talk them into it. They come, they like it, but people have schedules, they have things to go to, and they can't always make it. So I need those numbers to be higher. So that's something that I'm always working on when I'm not, like a vegetable on the couch because I can't think anymore. But when I can think, I'm thinking about all those things and selling all the workshops so that I can add more and make more of that money.
Yeah.
Gotta make more money.
Yeah. I mean, that's that line. If you need 12 people in the class, you got to tell 60 people about it.
Yeah. And you got to convince them that it's going to change their life in some very meaningful way. And it's possible, because what we do is that exciting and it's that cool. But, also some of my students who are regulars, I ask them, what do their friends think? They're like, they think I'm crazy. I'm like, we got to switch that a little bit. We got to slowly turn that bus around, because it's not crazy. It can be it for anybody. People ask me all the time. They're like, can I do it? Of course. I'm like, of course you can do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, convincing people to do aerial is fucking...
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's almost impossible.
It's interesting. No, I'm so glad that you're here with me today, because Amanda sure isn't.
Yeah, Amanda, who's not listening to this podcast.
She might. I think she listens more than you do.
Right. Okay, Amanda, if you listen to this podcast, the secret word is porcupine. And if you show up to our next podcast and you say the word
porcupine, I love that you just plucked that out of the air, by the way.
I probably won't remember that that's the secret word, but if you do say that word and I do remember, I'll be like, shit, she listened.
Well, I'll remember no matter what, because it's a very unique word to pluck out of the air. Noah Doc.
Yeah.
But
I'll be like, why did she say porcupine?
I'll be like, because we baited her. All right, Noah, have a great time at the bar. Here. Have a great time on your weekend.
No, I'll say bye.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.
Happy birthday.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in. You can find Amanda Ritchie at Grounded in Flight on Instagram and at Noah Doc on Instagram, as well as Red Flags app. And me, Kerry Wee, you can find at wrapyourheadaroundsilks.com. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. We have so much more coming at you, including guests that are in this art world, that are blazing their way through new businesses, and just more banter from us. Thank you for listening. This is The Artist Entrepreneur.